Okay, so these are the solutions to your problem of the week for this week. I have decided to do it all on Desmos because Desmos is something that you should learn how to use. It's a really good graphing calculator. So this is Desmos.com. You can open up an account or you don't have to. It's free to use. It's really nice. Okay, so first thing we're going to do since we're doing trig is we're going to go to this wrench. So that's your graph settings. Okay, if you want, first thing, let's do projector mode. So this makes your graph a bit thicker and bolder in case you were doing it on a school projector. Like I would use this if I were projecting it on the LCD projector on campus. It makes it easier to see here too. We have a reverse contrast in case you like that black and white thing, or you need it because of you have some vision issues. You have a braille mode, which to my understanding you guys don't need. You have a grid. You have axis numbers, minor grid lines. I like all of this stuff kind of on in its default mode. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change our x-axis because we are dealing with radians. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this -10 to a -pi, and I can literally type in the word pi, so pi, okay, and it's going to change it to the Greek letter pi, okay, and then since most of my problems go to 2 pi, I'm going to go ahead and change the +10 to a 3 pi, just like that. And then what's really cool is I can change my step to pi over 2. So I have a nice step, okay? And you'll notice that it changes the values on my x-axis to pi. Okay, so y value I really don't have to change. You can make it a bit shorter if you want, okay? So you can go, I would go like -4 maybe. And then I like everything square because, that's just kind of, I like it like that. And then like that, okay? All right, so we're in radians. We want to make sure we're in radians. Okay, now here is where you're going to enter in your equations. So the very first problem on problem of the week says solve for 0 to 2 pi, sine of x equals -1/2. So you're going to type in sine. I would put parentheses because it's a good habit to get into, sine of x. Okay, that's your nice sine graph. Okay, and then you're going to do the right-hand side of the equation. Now, since it's a constant, you have to tell it y equals, okay? And you can go -1 divided by 2. Oops, not 23. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to look at from 0 to 2 pi. So we're looking for where the blue intersects with the red. So that happens at pi over 6, or 7 pi over 6, excuse me, and 11 pi over 6. So that would be your answer. Okay? Again, we're looking for intersections because this is in an equation. Okay, so the next question is actually an inequality. Okay, so it's the same thing except instead of -1/2, we have +1/2. Just change that. Okay, notice how it automatically moves it up for you. Okay, so I want to know where sine of x is below, less than or equal to +1/2. So starting at 0, okay, we would go, it's below at 0 to pi over 6. And then it goes above, so I don't want that. And then right here it goes below again. It's below, 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 below. Okay, and then I stop at 2 pi. Okay, so my answer would be 0 to pi over 6, and that would be equal. Okay, and then 5 pi over 6 to 2 pi. Okay, so, and that's it. Okay, all right, so think about that. All right, the next one. Okay, so Desmos is really nice because it has what we usually refer to a math in out and input output like a calculator does sometimes. So what you can type into Desmos looks exactly like what's on the page. So for our next one, I have 2 cosine squared parentheses x. Okay, this is the third problem. Minus cosine of x. Okay, we get this weird funky looking graph. Change that to a 0. Okay, so this is an equation again. So we're looking for where the red crosses the blue. Pi over 3, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, 5 pi over 3. And that's it. Make sure you get them all. All right, but that's how you would type that in. Okay, so you just point where does it intersect, and it kind of tells you the answer, which is really nice. Okay, so the next one, okay, we're going to get rid of all of this. And we're going to type in sine squared x, okay, minus, actually, let me show you this way too. Okay, so I have this little keyboard down here. Okay, so I have this thing called functions. So it says sine, okay, but I want sine squared, so I'm going to use my arrow keys, and then I'm going to use my A like that. It gives me a sine squared. Okay, then I got to put an x, and I'm going to do minus 3. Functions sine x. Okay, make sure I get out of my sign. Plus 2 equals 0. Okay, again, this is an equation. Okay, we can get rid of the keyboard by doing this. Okay, and then we can zoom in and out if I need to. I can even drag it if I click on it and hold. Okay. Now this is all solutions. So that would be pi over 2 and 5 pi over 2. Now notice that pi over 2 and 5 pi over 2, those are 2 pi apart. So we only need one. We just need pi over 2 plus 2n pi, and that's it. Okay, because if I add 2 pi, I'm going to get that 5 pi over 2. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the last 3. What's really nice about Desmos, it has a dedicated cotangent. We can type in cotangent of x, and then we want less than or equal to 1. So I want to figure out where it's below. So that would be pi over 4 to pi, then 5 pi over 4 to 2 pi. So I want to know where it is below because it's less than or equal to. And that's it. So remember, less than is below, greater than is above. Okay, so with the next one we have, okay, I'm going to type in 2 secant squared x, and then over here, I'm going to get rid of my y equals tangent squared x. Okay, now this is one way you can do it. You could also, if it's easier for you, do minus, whoops, yes, tangent squared, whoops. You could set your inequality equal to 0, like that. Okay, if it's easier. So you want to know where your graph is less than 0. Is your graph less than 0? What do you think? Nope. So no solution. Okay, that's it. This is always greater than 0. All right, last one. And there was a typo on this one. I forgot the equals. Equal to. Okay, so 2 sine. Sorry about that. X cosine x by equals. Oops. Now, see this little thing right here? This little caution sign? Okay, that's telling you that you did something wrong, which is really nice of Desmos to do. Use parentheses around the argument of sign. Whoops. See how that putting those parentheses in like changed your graph? So we want to do that. We want to make sure. Okay, it's a little extra step, but kind of make, oh, and look, another caution sign. You need something behind the equal sign. Okay, so where is this graph equal to or below 1? That would be everywhere. Okay, however, make sure it's only from 0 to 2 pi. So you don't want to go for the answer that says negative infinity to positive infinity, because technically that would be wrong. Okay, you want to go 0 to 2 pi, and that's it. Okay, I hope this kind of helped you get a little bit more comfortable with Desmos. I know a lot of you like to do things by hand algebraically, but Desmos is an excellent tool. In a couple of videos, when we get further into matrices, which is the next unit, we're going to be using the matrix calculator with Desmos. Okay, hope you have a good day.